I'm Hayden Panettiere. I play the role of Sam. It's been a long time, 8 years. I remember her and her friends get to Blackwood. There are all sorts of creatures and things that go in the night. It's supposed to be a fun time, and this fun time turns into, like, the worst little vacay ever.
Fuck! No!
She has a driving force behind her. She has this gutsy nature. You definitely can see that she's a leader. She always fights back. She'll always lean towards the light, and she'll fight like heck. I think she's very intuitive and has good gut instincts, and she follows them.
Come on, guys, hurry up. We gotta find Mike. Come on.
I had done a lot of voice work, actually, since I was much younger. I was up for any new challenges, and I'm a total nerd. I love fantasy. I love video games. I love the escapism that you get from being able to be in a world like that is in a different realms, full of wonder, or in this case, horror, and all that good stuff. It's all about imagination. You're looking at a tennis ball on a C-stand. They're saying that's like a creature coming at you, or it's a ceiling fan, or it's a whatever. It's just about imagining as much as you can in your mind, visualizing how you would react if that were to happen in real life. It's tricky. The jump scares, I don't like being startled in, like, day-to-day life, but when I'm watching a horror film, I want those jump scares for sure. Outwitting the audience, doing the unexpected, just the unpredictable nature of it. One of the things that just separates it from the rest, I think it's the interactive part of it. Allow the audience to make decisions, and based on those decisions, something entirely different would happen.
Okay, this is gonna be okay.
You can't let me die!
Just give me a second, Ashley, I'll get you out of this, I won't let you die!
It makes you feel like you're there and you're in charge of the lives of these characters that you come to grow fond of. I've watched so many shows where they talk about the butterfly effect. If you really break it down, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. You change one thing. You pull one little thread from the blanket and it becomes a different pattern. Until Dawn has been around for years and years now, and I think people love it. And the fact that they, are going further with it says that there's a want for it. They haven't told me much. I'm on a need-to-know basis. I like it that way, so that I experience it for myself. I have to. I'm gonna have to see it. I have to.
Just hit play.
Okay.
Dan, what did you do?
We're just messing around, Beth. It wasn't serious.
You jerk!
So, should we go after her?
I kind of think you're the last person she wants to see right now, Mike.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just so much more real. You see everything. You see everything. It's wild to see the difference between the two. So much more vibrant, which means it's gonna be even scarier.
What is that? Damn it!
I definitely would draw parallels between myself and Sam. I feel like I try to bring parts of myself into every character, no matter what it is. It's not real if you're not bringing parts of yourself that are just innate. I think I would make the same decisions, some of the same decisions as Sam does. This is so fun. It was fun to come back. It was exciting to come back, exciting to revisit things. You have I think, a different understanding of the character. She has to deal with this trauma, the people that she's lost, the friends she's lost, and things like that don't go away. They stay with you. So she's made it through, but as we see, she's struggled, and she doesn't want to take out her inner struggles on her family. Frustrated with herself. Continuously you go back through it in your mind. What if I had done this differently? Would this person be alive? What if I had done that differently? Then I wouldn't be left here in hell on earth. The voice that calls her Sam. She obviously is linked to this place. You know, this scar shows up on her arm out of nowhere. You don't just find something like that on your arm and not go looking for the answer. Wow. What is that? I'm just so grateful to be asked to come back after all of these years, and that people love the game so much and my character so much that they would even have me back. So I just feel grateful.
It was really exciting when we found out that we were going to be working on Until Dawn again, and it was a really exciting opportunity to revisit the music for the game. The original score by Jason Graves really brought the game to life, and we were keen to elevate and enhance on the foundations that he'd laid. When we first started this process, Mark's name came up as someone who was doing some really interesting stuff in the horror space.
I tend to steer away from cliche all the time. I try to look for what's needed, but how can I twist that in a certain way to make it hopefully something that you haven't heard a million times before.
He'd done some great work in films like The Lighthouse and The Witch. He found elements from those film worlds that really picked out interesting things from the narrative, and we were keen on doing something very similar in Until Dawn. One of the first things we started looking at when we started on this game was the main theme and how we wanted to update that for the title. You'll hear that from the very beginning, and it'll be introduced all throughout the game and at key moments. I think the importance for us was having something that had a real hook to it, that was really identifiable, that you would hear it in any style and in any part of the game, and you would immediately pick up, oh, this is relating to the wider Until Dawn universe.
Did you see this view? I mean, holy cow.
Each environment, we really wanted to create its own musical character that would go with it. So for the mines, the sanatorium, the forest itself, and the lodge, we had 4 different suites that would sit within these worlds that would give each of them a character and their own kind of melodies and sound world, which you immediately knew when you were changing from environments, changing between different characters, it kind of sat you in that place very quickly. You understood where you were because of that musical world.
I try to evoke the feeling of being in these places, like, you know, with the mines. It's metallic. It's the scraping of the wheels on the mine car tracks, and it's echoey, so there's more reverb. It's not so in your face. It's more sort of a haunted feeling than the lodge would be. Close. It's indoors in a nice warm cabin, so it's more in your face.
I think one of the most iconic places in the game is the sanatorium. It's got a lot of history to the building, and we had a lot of fun introducing the past and making it feel like there was history.
I'm just gonna wait here for a bit. See who else is coming.
One of the things that we wanted to do in this reimagining of Until Dawn was look at character themes and seeing if there's more opportunities to bring in thematic material to represent each of the characters. And that might be a melody, but it also might be something more like an instrument that represents that character.
I think in this score there was probably more of an accent on melodic motifs for all the characters, and that was sort of new to me because I tended to do a lot of broad brushstrokes where you're really scoring the vibe of the overall film.
Wait, okay, so you hear that too, right?
The score was mostly done in the box, so that's basically in my home studio, with not a lot of acoustic instruments performed within the recording of the score. When you're composing, in the box, as we say, there can be a certain thinness to the sound. It's sort of closed in like that. But as soon as you get more players involved, and recording in this beautiful studio, then the whole sound just sort of widens up and becomes larger than life.
With a couple of the sessions we're doing here, we're kind of trying out some more experimental things, and our kind of goal here is to really find some interesting and unique sounds that can really carry. Cues even has all of the players blowing across their cellos and double basses, which creates this really eerie, windy sound, and yeah, a lot of those kind of creative effects really help create this kind of eerie, uncanny space, because you're taking the acoustic sound of the instruments, but then kind of manipulating it in a way that you're unfamiliar with, and kind of you get this uncanny valley feel to it. We've got a percussionist coming in who's basically bringing a truckload of interesting and fun sounds, including squeaky hinges and other bizarre contraptions that we're going to be playing around with to make kind of interesting and unique sounds. We set out to create something that was very different from the original, and to help score the environment, score the characters, and create a little bit more of an overarching thematic experience for the game. And I think that we've achieved that.
Both Joe and James were just a pleasure to work with. I mean, the team worked together just like the meshes in a gear. It's just been wonderful.
It was amazing to be able to reimagine the score and go on this new journey with it. I'm really excited with how it's come out, and I hope the audience enjoy it as well.
This is all very, very new to me, but very, very exciting. You got to shake up your world now and then. I love experimental sounds because I love to be surprised by what I hear. I wait for the moment where I can go, what the hell is that sound? I've never heard that before. I mean, that's the real spark for me as a composer.
I think Mark's probably the best person to talk about the apprehension engine and all of the bits and pieces that it's got going on that. It's a horrendous sounding, but also awesome sounding bit of mechanical machinery, which is really cool. And some of that's been used in the score to create those really intense and horrible screeching moments, which are perfectly illustrated using that engine.
I got together with a friend of mine. We put our heads together and designed this box that would contain some of the techniques that I've always experimented with. I've spent a lot of time experimenting with EBOs, but doing it in sort of really strange ways. We just have basically one string for the EBO. I really, press it against the pickup and get it to squeal and make very, very aggressive and rude noises. We have 3 strings for the hurdy-gurdy, and I play it with my fingers. And then we have some steel rulers poking out the front, and I use a glass bottleneck slide, and I would use, this is sounding pretty crazy, but I use a nickel harpa, which is a short little bow, and I'll bow the rulers, giving them a shrieking sound. And then off to long steel rods, I call them the wacka-wacka rods. So when you flip them up, and I play that with the ebow too, so I'll slam the ebow into it and get that to howl and squeal and give me sort of industrial sounds.
Sometimes these things can be a little scary, even terrifying, but I'm here to make sure that no matter how upsetting things may get, you will always find a way to work through it.
I've lost 2 of my sisters, so coming to kind of get some closure in that respect.
One of the things that Larry does really well is make these multi-layered characters, and I think for just the story in general, it follows the quintessential horror film plot lines, but the characters are so unique in themselves, and I think that's very cool.
Oh, yeah, this was the right thing to do.
What?
You know, getting everyone together on the anniversary. I mean, Josh seemed really pumped about us all doing something, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he definitely did. I haven't seen him so excited about something in forever.
Good, good.
Sam and I have a few things in common, such as being huge lovers of animals, and she's a huge animal lover. She's vegan. She is a pacifist. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna go as far as saying that I'm a pacifist, but she's spunky and cool. I know that she, I think, is made fun of a little bit by the rest of them who think that her morals and her beliefs in that area are them, but she doesn't care. It doesn't stop her from being herself, and that's something that I hope I have in common with her.
You know, he definitely can be depressed at some times and a bit of a loner, but he takes some solace in one of his sister's friends, Sam, played by Hayden Panettiere, and invites everybody back to the same house the next year to kind of find some closure.
Jessica she has a whole lot of personality. She is definitely the sort of mean girl character that, you know, at school she knows she's pretty, she knows that boys like her, and she's gonna use it to her advantage.
He's got a big heart, and you can tell that that's very evident, especially how he treats his girlfriend, Emily, and, you know, he's kind of a meathead, but in the best way possible.
She really knows what she wants, and she manages to get that from whomever it is, whether it be Matt or Mike. You know, she's really driven, and I can definitely relate to that.
My character is Chris, and he is what society might consider the nerd of the group, and he kind of embraces it.
Ashley she's a little more serious than some of the other girls. She's definitely very intelligent and thoughtful. She kind of looks at the whole big picture of things. She's not quite as geeky as Chris, but they connect in a lot of ways.
Mike is like big guy on campus. He's the class president who has some charm and has a brain, and I don't know, people seem to like Mike. He gets away with a lot, though. He can be kind of jerky. The fact that he really just kind of wants everyone to be happy, and he's a people pleaser, and I can definitely attest to being, you know, that guy. I'm always the friend that wants everybody to be happy and wants everybody to be taken care of, and that's definitely Matt.
But also, like, this character is just so fun. I rarely get to play the bitch, and so it was really fun to do that.
The spirit of things, seriously, what's wrong with you?
I'm just trying to lighten the mood, Em. Don't be like that.
Like what?
The way you're being. You always get like this.
I just think this is just the coolest thing to be a part of, and I just think it's going to take the world by storm. I really do. I think this genre is the wave of the future, and I think that once people see the potential behind it, of getting to interact with the drama that you're witnessing unfold in such a realistic way, that this is how entertainment's going to be from now on.
Hi, Larry.
Hey, Graham.
Hi, my name is Graham Resnick. I'm a filmmaker, writer, director, sound designer, and I started working with Larry Fessenden about 10, 15 years ago through my friend Ty West, who I grew up with, and have done a lot of sound design with on his films. And he was producing Ty's films at the time, and Ty introduced me to Larry. Larry produced my first feature, and we've written together on several projects.
My name is Larry Fessenden. I'm a filmmaker. I run Glass Eye Pix, which is an independent production company out of New York. We make indie movies, a lot of scary movies as well. And I got a call to audition to write this video game. And I called my pal Graham Resnick because Graham is a gamer. And while I thought I could offer something to the idea of writing this multi-branching story, I knew that I would want Graham's expertise as a lover of gameplay, since I guess games were started. So
and just as a lover.
And as a lover, yes. Just why there's so many sex jokes in the game.
There was one Italian website that did say the Larry
that's
Fessenden and
right.
Graham Resnick, the two lovers behind Until Dawn.
Come here. Maybe I know how to handle you too.
I am definitely ready to be handled.
So I wanted Graham by my side. Yeah, and we got the gig, and it's been an amazing ride.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my god, she's taking her shirt off. Oh my god. Matt, what are you doing here?
Hannah.
I'm sorry, Hannah. This all got
Don't
out of
mind,
hand,
just
but
So in the game, the basic setup is that a year prior to the game's start, all these kids had gone up to a ski lodge that was owned by the parents of one of the kids, or a couple of the kids, and some of the teenagers played a prank on some of the other teenagers, and a terrible tragedy occurred when a few of them, two sisters, ran out into a blizzard, and were never seen from again. So now, a year later, this is kind of torn apart, this group of friends. They've gone through some trials and tribulations in the past year. The brother of the two girls has had a lot of psychological issues, and to kind of help him cope and help them all get over it, they all returned to the lodge a year later, back up on the mountain. And the idea is to get over it, but...
the healing does not begin.
Yeah, and these kids are all trying to find themselves. They've been through a trauma, but in general, they're just teenagers trying to figure out who they are. So they're all kind of falling into the patterns, the stereotypes, the characters they see on TV and in the movies.
Taking genre tropes and kind of making them sort of refresh them.
Hey, did you see that? Dad said it'd just be us this weekend.
We're familiar with how slasher movies work. Most people have seen some horror movies, and we have established notions and preconceptions about the roles of the players in horror movies and how they talk and how they get killed and how they have sex. And to bring you into the game that way and then subvert a lot of those expectations is kind of our goal.
They're haunted by some incident that happened in their past, which I think you pretty much figure out that that's going to have a role in their interaction. Yeah, so I think what was fun was we take some sort of stock characters and we try to give them some shape, but at least at the beginning they're recognizable in the way of groups of friends. There's the jock and the bitchy girl and the rivalries between these, but also that you absolutely have with friends and sort of those inside jokes. And of course, as writers and as friends ourselves, we sort of developed little tracks and we try to give the characters that kind of vibe.